Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Brandon Morvillis. Alongside here with me is cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy, live here on the WHS Network on YouTube.com here this evening with Lady Raider Volleyball. Again, coming your way here tonight from beautiful Raider Gymnasium in Selma, Indiana. We have the 4-12 and 0-3 in the MEC Conference. Eastern Hancock Lady Royals as they will take on your 8-1 and MEC Conference record of 2-0 Wapahani Lady Raiders. We appreciate y'all for joining us here this evening as we'll get right into things here with our Raiders Live pregame presented by FC Tucker, Muncie Realtors, Ted Cook, and Joanne Davis. Wapahani just last night traveled to Hagerstown, in which the Lady Raiders were able to win that one in straight set action. And overall, played a pretty good game. You know, there was a few times, especially right there in the first set last night, where we had a pretty sizable lead, let them get right back into it, and nearly won that first set. So probably need to do a little bit better job, you know, looking back there at that first set of maybe closing things out. But really, other than that, we played a real solid game. You know, a lot of players contributed greatly to that win last night, and that's a win you got to feel really good about because, you know, coming in, you know, that was a very, very good Hagerstown team. And they got a couple of big-time heavy hitters. Outside of that, really didn't necessarily see a whole lot there from Hagerstown. I was slightly surprised from that standpoint, considering the record. And it's not like they've been playing any kind of slouch teams by any means. You know, but that just, you know, kind of tells you how good Wapahani really, for the most part, played last night, which is definitely very nice to see. You know, you're 8-1 right now. 2-0 here in the conference, another big conference game here tonight in Eastern Hancock, in which, you know, yeah, record-wise, they're struggling. They're not having the best year that I'm sure that they would like to have, at least to this point. But, you know, from Wapahani's standpoint, you just got to treat it like any other ball game. Come out here and be ready to play and be in attack mode and hopefully establish a lead early and continue to maintain that lead throughout the ball game and hopefully push it even more. But hopefully, again, you just build off of a big win last night. You got another game tonight. Again, you have Muncie Burris tomorrow night. Not to look too far ahead, but you want to have a great week right here, and you got to continue that here tonight. Take care of business against Eastern Hancock, a team that, again, you don't want to go to sleep on. You've got to still come out here and play a full game of volleyball and hopefully a great full game of volleyball. And so we'll see what happens. Also, I did want to mention this again. I mentioned it in last night's broadcast. But I know some parents was asking for this. And, you know, it's nice to be able to do this, especially every once in a while. We will be broadcasting this coming Saturday the Wapahani Junior Varsity Invitational out here at Raider Gymnasium. Again, you know, we don't necessarily do any of their games simply from the standpoint of, in many years past, when we was doing them, we wouldn't get very many views. And that's no knock on them, it's just people weren't watching the games. And so that's why we stopped doing them about 3 or 4 years back. Maybe even a little bit further than that, but we will be doing the invitational coming up on Saturday morning. It starts at 10 o'clock. Last night I thought it was 9, but it is 10 o'clock on Saturday, and we'll be broadcasting all 3 games Saturday morning and into the afternoon. So just so all of you know that, so you can get on there and watch us Saturday. Of course, like I said, we're broadcasting tomorrow night's game as well. But we want to get this university team some recognition and a very special group of young ladies. I'm not saying that in years past they weren't special as well, but, you know, it's just something nice to do every once in a while, and it's the first time I think that we've had a junior varsity tournament out here in quite a while, at least to my knowledge. And so, you know, we thought it was a good opportunity to potentially come out here, broadcast their games. So, again, that'll be coming up on Saturday. 10 a.m. is the first game. I think we play at 10, 11, and 12, so we'll have that right here coming up on the WHS Network this coming Saturday. Folks, getting geared up here for tonight's ball game again between Eastern Hancock and your Wapahani Raiders. Again, this has been our Raiders Live pregame presented by FC Tucker, Muncie Realtors, Ted Cook, and Joanne Davis. We'll be back with more right here live on the WHS Network. All righty, welcome back again here, ladies and gentlemen, as we take a look here at tonight's rosters. First here for Eastern Hancock. Start off here with number 1, Sydney Bednarski. Number 2, Bree Talby. Number 3, Emma Weiss. Number 5, Jordan Cross. Number 7, Megan Rutherford. Number 9, Chloe McCarty. Number 10, Gracie Gray. Number 11, Jenna White. Number 12, Skyla Smith. Number 13, Leah Sotelo. number 15, Lily Hunt, and number 18, Paige Wickard. Again, the Lady Royals are coached by Corey Rainbolt. Again, here for Wapahani, run down here, number 1, Olivia Smith, number 2, Race Baker, number 3, Emily Stewart, number 4, Gracie Stanley, number 5, Emma Shuck, number 6, Ashton Zickgraf, number 7, Chloe Cook, number 8, Allison Stewart, number 9, Mallory Summers, number 10, Briley Felt, number 11, Macy Bowden, number 12, Cameron Wise, and number 16, Cadence Brewer. So we'll start off here tonight's ball game. Baker back there to serve. And that's going to be shanked off to the right side, down to play. An ace right there for the Raiders, and a 1-0 lead early here in this one. Again, the Raiders coached there by Katie Weir, assisted by Paige Williamson, Lindy Davis, and Madison Mangus. Again, once again, as I mentioned earlier, we appreciate you all for joining us here on this Wednesday night of Lady Raider Volleyball. It's 2-0 so far early here in this one, but again, 3 games in 3 nights. This is the second game. Again, we'll be back at it tomorrow night as we'll be traveling to Ball Gymnasium on the campus of Ball State University as Lady Raiders take on the Lady Elves tomorrow night in what should be a very fun and competitive matchup. To my knowledge, I think Burris is still undefeated and ranked number 1 in Class 3A. So it'll be nice to go to their place, play a great game, and hopefully come away with a win. But nonetheless, still got to take care of business here tonight, as we'll see Cameron Wise now in here for the first time of the evening. 3-1 Wapahani, Olivia Smith back to serve. Dug out there by Talby, set up, tipped across, and mishandled there by Wise. So number 1, Bednarski, is able to put just enough on it there to cause some problems there for Wise. And a 3-2 ball game here as the Raiders look to take care of business here tonight. Again, a perfect 2-0 record so far in conference play. Eastern Hancock yet to get their first win in conference season, 0-3. And we're going to have a net violation called on Wapahani. So now tied at 3. We'll see number 10, Gracie Gray, back to serve here for the Royals. Stewart, with the dig out there and set up nicely to Summers. But just outside the line as Eastern Hancock will take their first lead of the evening. Stewart with a dig, set up by Stewart, put down by Summers. Nice dig right there from Gray. Set up to Wise. I think there might have been a little brief miscommunication there potentially, but still a well-executed ball there. A nice setup from Stewart there to Wise. And we're tied here at 4. As we'll see Emma Shuck in here for the first time of the night. Allison Stewart back there to serve. Gray with the dig. Set up there by Hunt. And put across by Bednarski. So the Lady Royals coming out guns blazing here to begin tonight's ball game. Again, it's something, you always want to think about, coming into a game like this. You can't overlook any team. I don't care what the record might be, what people might say about it. That doesn't necessarily matter. They still got to go out there and play the ball game. And right now, they're playing pretty good. Tied now at 5. Summers back to serve. Missile to serve there from Mallory. There's Smith with the dig. Stewart sets it up nicely for Shuck. Handled there by Hunt. Number 12, Smith on the attack, out of bounds. Point for the Raiders, and Wapahani will retake the lead, now 6-5. Skipped over the top of the net, an ace for Summers. set up and miss hit there by Smith, but still was able to get it over the net there somehow. On the attack right there, and out of bounds. It was hit there by Rutherford. Couldn't tell if it was in or out, but line judge said it was out, and we'll take it. That was definitely out of bounds there by Mallory. Put a little too much on that one to make it now an 8-6 ball game. Bednarski back to serve. Summers right there to okay, they're going to say that was tipped. I wasn't sure yet if that was out of bounds or what the case might have been, but nonetheless 9-6 there. Very nice setup there by Stewart, and very close to possibly hitting that out of bounds. Lucky there for the tip, and Cook executes a block right there. Now 10-6 Raiders. Set to Cook once more, handled there by Rutherford. Stewart now to Summers, over to Shuck, dug out that time by Cross, and mishandled out of the reach right there to be able to really get anything on it. And that's an easy two-hit call right there. So the Raiders have now doubled up here on the Lady Royals, now 12-6 lead. Another fine serve from Wise. Stewart with a setup to Cook. And cooking that one right off the young lady's head. Hopefully she's okay. Goodness. So Cook getting all of that one there to now give the Raiders a 7-point lead. Nice save from Summers. Here's Wise. Stewart with another setup now to Baker. Soft touch. Unfortunate pass there, and a well-executed ball by Lily Hunt to get the Royals point number 7 on the night. So we'll see number 7, Megan Rutherford, back to serve. Summers to Stewart. Now over to Cook. Yes! Cook collects on another kill. Now a 7-point lead once again here, as Emily Stewart will return to action here for the Raiders. And that's going to be served into the net. It's one thing we've seen quite a bit of last night for whatever reason. For the most part, we've been a very good serving team, really not, making errors for ourselves and not giving free points away, but for whatever reason last night had some opportunities there that definitely go by the wayside with some of the serving, but like I said, for a good majority of this season, as Cook collects another kill, good majority of this season, our serving has been fabulous. So we'll see Baker back here to serve. Wapahani again now up 15-8. Nice serve from Baker, another ace, mishandled there by Gracie Gray. Dug out there by Gray, sent by Bednarski. Smith, now to Stewart. Summers bringing the hammer. And it's 17-8 Wapahani. Gray with another dig set up by Smith, and Sotelo will get it across there for the Royals. Cook back on the attack again, and still no answer there by the Lady Royals on Chloe Cook. As the Raiders now expand this lead now out to 10. 18-8 cushion. Bednarski will get called with the 2 hits again. So let's see if the Raiders can keep the foot on the gas here, so to speak. This is about the time where we start, I wouldn't necessarily say fall apart, but we've had our troubles in some games at times, and again, closing out the sets. But right now, we are playing some very, very good volleyball. 20-8 lead after the kill there from Mallory Summers. Again, we still have Reese Baker back here to serve. Well, floater serve there from Baker and works out beautifully. Another ace for the Raiders. And Wapahani just now 4 points away, and now we're going to have a timeout taken here by Eastern Hancock. So we'll go ahead and stick right here with you during the timeout. Again, this would be our Jones Auto Body game break. 21-8 Wapahani, first set lead. Again, did want to take a little bit of time. We'll probably try to do some of this during the set, or in between sets 1 and 2 here. But obviously, today being 9/11, a very difficult day for all of us Americans out here. Just want to say on behalf of myself and Redbeard here, we just continue to pray for all the families that have had to experience such a awful situation 18 years ago on this very day. So again, out of the timeout here, 21-8 lead here for Wapahani. Strong start here for the Raiders. Stewart with a setup there, soft touch over the net there by Cook. And some more mental errors by the Royals cost them another point. Miscommunication that time around. And now the magic number of 3 to claim this first set. The floater serve from Baker, changing it up a little bit, laying out right there. Nicely done. Cook will get it over. Bednarski handles it there, but hits into the net. Nobody can get to it following. Handled there by Hunt. Round set right back to her, off the hands of Smith. Now 23-9, and we'll see number 15, Lily Hunt, back to serve here for the Lady Royals. And dug by Baker. Summers will free ball action here for the Royals. Tipped up in the air, and Stewart able to get that in time as that ball hit under the net. As Royals now reach double digits, now 23-10. Stewart to Cook, and that should have been 4 hits, and indeed it will be. Can't afford to fall apart now. Set to Summers again, off the hands here of Hunt. Out of bounds, and the Raiders now with set point coming up. Cameron Wise back in here for Wapahani, and Olivia Smith will be back to serve. Hunt there with a setup, tipped up in the air. Now Summers back on the prowl again, dug out. Hunt sets it, and tipped over and down in play there by Sotelo. Assuming I'm getting that pronunciation correctly. There's a couple names, kind of iffy there, but for the most part there, I think we're all right. Baker, Stewart, Summers. Nice dig right there, keeping it alive, and let's see what Wapahani can do with it here. Wise on the attack, dug out by Gray, and hit into the net there by Bednarski, and that will end this first set. So the Raiders take set number 1 of the evening, 25-12. Big opening set victory there for the Lady Raiders as we look to get back at it here in set number 2. Again, as I just touched on just a few moments ago, the overall importance of today being, what it is, obviously, like I had already said, 18 years ago, 9/11, such a historic day in American history, and again, we just want to honor the fallen heroes, and again, just tell all the families, again, we continue to pray for them. You can never, I guess, pray enough, and especially for such a situation like that all these years later. It still hurts as Americans, and that's not something that anybody wants to talk about or discuss, but we just want to say that we're praying for them continuously, and just want to say thank you to all of those heroes that went down there that day, and not only was there during the World Trade Center attack, but also at the Pentagon, Shanksville, and to all the men and women that fight for our very freedoms in the military. We appreciate you all. And again, with today being 9/11, we appreciate you for joining us here tonight. We'll step aside here for a break, and we'll be back with more right after this.
We know the right way to get you where you need to go. We'll be the wheels underneath you, out on the road. We're driven to give you the best service. We're driven cause we know you deserve it. Stoops, we're driven to be the best. Stoops, we're driven to be the best.
All right. Welcome back here on the WHS Network as we get going here with set number 2 of the evening. Got going a little bit faster. We had nearly a minute left in between sets, so back at it here. And again, Wapahani, if you're just now joining us, has a 1-set-to-none lead of 25-12 and already a 1-0 lead here in set number 2. So back to serve here will be Reese Baker. Dug out there, and the setup tipped across by White. This time, but Cook with the long arms still able to get the ball over. Summers now on the attack and hit out of bounds, no touch. And this will now be tied up here at 1. Subbing in here for the Lady Royals will be number 3, Emma Weiss, and she will now be back to serve. And served into the net. Point there for the Raiders. Now 2-1 here as we'll see White back in the ball game there for Weiss, and serving here for the Raiders will be number 1, Olivia Smith. Also now in for the Raiders is Cameron Wise. Hit out of bounds there. Another one goes to the Lady Raiders. Got a pretty decent crowd here this evening. Got a nice Wednesday night of Lady Raider volleyball. Again, coming out to support the team. It's always great to have everyone with us, but Even those of you that can't be here, we appreciate you for being right here with us and catching the action here on the WHS Network. And hit over there by Smith. Full free ball action. Wise on the attack there and kept alive. Will they get it over? They will not. Still like the hustle nonetheless there by Eastern Hancock, as the Raiders now on a 5-1 lead. Dug out there. Big opportunity for Summers and collects the kill. So it's all Wapahani to begin this second set, really continuing where they left off in the first. Hunt with the set. There to Smith. A good job there by Baker to get some hands on. Hunt again with another setup, this time to Rutherford, and miss hit. And some of the woes continue here for the Lady Royals. Dug out by Bednarski, sent over the net. Here's Stewart. Missed time there by Wise, but luckily Summers right there to help her out. Propped up in the air. Smith won't get there in time as that was off the hand, I believe, of Summers. And a 7-2 ball game here in set number 2. Handled there by Emily. Allison with the setup to Mallory and hit out of bounds. Now 7-3 with number 12, Skyla Smith, back to serve. Baker there to Stewart. Good job changing things up. Not only that, but about the only thing she could have done right there without being in the net, or maybe a 2-hit call or a lift, whatever the case might have been. So job well done there by Allison Stewart. Emma Schuck back in here to the Raider lineup. That will be handled there by Talby. Set there to Bednarski, out of bounds. Skipped over the top of the net. Handled there by Schuck. And hit out of bounds by Bednarski. Hunt tried to tip it over the net, and to no prevail. A 11-3 lead here for Wapahani. A timeout taken by Eastern Hancock. I'd like to thank some of our sponsors here this evening. I'd like to thank Stoops Automotive Group Buick and GMC Dealership. Again, located at 4055 West Clara Lane in Muncie, Indiana. Stoops has a wide variety of brand new and pre-owned vehicles of quality brand names. So, if you have an interest in a vehicle, would like to know more information about one, make sure to contact Stoops at 765-288-1903. And also visit their online website at stoopsauto.com. Again, their hours are Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. They're also open Saturday from 8 to 4. So again, special thanks to Stoops Automotive Group Buick and GMC Dealership. Stoops is driven to be the best. Also, special thanks there to FC Tucker, Muncie Realtors, Ted Cook and Joanne Davis. Let Ted and Joanne be the key to all of your real estate needs. Buying, selling, or investment properties, we get the job done. Call Ted Cook at 765-744-8143 and Joanne Davis at 765-748-1316. So back at it here in the second set. A 12-3 lead now for Wapahani after a net violation called on Eastern Hancock. Another fine serve there from Allison. She gets over there in time. Smith with a set up to Summers, punches it over. Hunt now to Bednarski. Stewart gets there. Now to Smith, back to Summers. Off the side of her hand, still effective. Here we go again. Let's see what the Raiders can do. Wise sends it to the back. Good action right here. And Shuck ends it with a kill. 13-3 Wapahani. Nice floater serve there as Talby will get it across here for the Royals. And hit out of bounds. It's tough to keep it inside the lines when you hit it along the side for some reason, at least with different times that we usually try to use the side. Always have a little bit of a tougher time keeping it in bounds. And thought for a moment the Raiders were going to get away with 4 hit, but unfortunately the referee seen that one. So a 13-5 lead here for Wapahani. Baker handles that one, set up, and put down by Cameron Wise. So back to a 9-point lead. Again, Wapahani is already with a 1-0 lead here this evening after taking the first set 25-12. Nice block there from is either Wise or Shuck or maybe a little bit of both. That's another thing I know that I've really noticed. Our blocking has been very solid for a good portion of the season, especially these last 2 or 3 games here. The blocking has been very good. Bednarski getting after it there. Tipped up in the air. Baker hits it off the side of her hand, but a very well-placed ball along the sideline, finding that back corner, sneaks it inbounds. And the Raiders now with a sizable 11-point lead. Dug out there by Hunt, set up by number 18, Wickard. Mishandling there by Talby and out of bounds. And now we'll see some substitutions come in here for the first time tonight. We'll see number 10, Briley Felton, as well as number 11, Macy Bowden. So I'm sure they'll finish out the set here at least. Bowden will. We'll see how long Felton stays in. Now 17-6. Again, you got different rotations. Different girls come in at certain times, so on and so forth. So we'll see Rutherford back to serve. And Smith went ahead and stuck her arms out there to dig that one out. That would have been close. I think it would have been out of bounds, but still probably too close not to go ahead and take a shot at it. Dug out by Baker, set to Felton, and in there for the kill. Nice setup there from Bowden, and just all the way around the board there. You had the dig, the set, the kill. Worked out beautifully. As Wise will be back here to serve. Felton there, now Bowden with a setup to Cook. Tell you what, that's a winning recipe that I'm sure a lot of these freshman parents have seen through the years. All of them are freshmen, but one girl out there right now, and that's Mallory Summers. Talby gets it over Summers. Now Bowden gets over there in time to Baker. Tipped up in the air. Wise gets back there in time. Nicely done. Back to Baker again. Talby digs it out. And that's going to be 2 hits on the Lady Royals. Mishandled by number 11, White. Jenna White. And another ace for Wise. The Raiders have had quite a few of those here this evening. I think we've got to be pushing the threshold of about possibly maybe 10 or 11 by now. Again, I don't keep track of that. Felton back on the attack again, and another kill. 2 for 2 there for Felton. And Wise looking to close out this set here. You've still got 2 more points to go. And that one served into the... I'll take the blame for that one. The broadcasting jinx, unfortunately, did not work in our favor that time around. Bednarski in the giving mood, giving us a point. So we got a free point giveaway there from us, then from them. And now back here for set point, Emily Stewart back to serve. Mishandled, but Bednarski gets it over. Bowden to Cook. Bednarski gets there in time, and that's all she wrote there. The Raiders take the second set here, 25-8, now own a 2-set to none lead over the Lady Royals. We'll step aside here for a break. Again, we got the third set of action coming up here on the WHS Network. Again, this is our Jones Auto Body game break. Stop on in at Jones Auto Body, owned by J.R. Fannin in 1901 East Memorial Drive in Muncie, Indiana. Jones Auto Body is one of Muncie's oldest and largest auto repair and paint shops, in which they have been serving the community for over 30 years. Jones Auto Body, assurance of quality.
Need legal advice or representation, you can trust B. Joseph Davis, attorney at law in Muncie. Our focus is personal injury. We handle cases involving serious injuries, wrongful deaths, all vehicle crashes, nursing home cases, medical product and drug recalls, and slips, trips, and falls. No fee until we win. We offer evening, weekend, home, and hospital appointments for your convenience. Contingency fee arrangements are available. For a free consultation, call B. Joseph Davis, attorney at law, today.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back here as we begin set number 3 with a bang. And an ace here, 1-0 Wapahani through the first 2 sets here this evening, folks. Wapahani with a 25-12, 25-8 lead over the Lady Royals here this evening. Again, coming into tonight's ball game, Wapahani a perfect 2-0 in conference play, while Eastern Hancock comes in at 0-3. Nice layout there from Stewart. Nice set up and well-executed ball there by Mallory Summers, now 2-0. can make sure stick around here with us for our Raiders Live post-game report coming up following tonight's matchup. Again, still got a ways to go. Never know what might happen. So far, looking very promising here for the Raiders, and it's going to be out of bounds. The line judge could not see where the ball had hit, so the down referee said that it was out of bounds, and that's the call that we're going to go with. Stewart with a set to Summers. Off the hand of Hunt, and a kill there for Summers, just collecting or adding to her collective total here. We'll see Cameron Wise back to serve. Handled there, and there's Wise to Stewart, back to Summers. Some of the ball handling here by Eastern Hancock has got them into a little bit of trouble here this evening, unfortunately on their behalf. And Wapahani's done a nice job of executing on those mistakes. Blocked there. I think that might have been Cadence Brewer on that block, either her or Shuck might have got a hand in on it. Again, Brewer seeing her first action of the night. 4-point lead here for the Raiders, as that will be tipped across. Baker set to Summers, and another kill for Mallory. I think I'm beginning to sound like a broken record here. That's going to be out of bounds off of number 16, which actually, surprising enough, is not on our roster sheet. So that's the first time this year we've had a roster sheet that's been incorrect. Usually that happens quite often, and Summers is just mauling over the Lady Royals here in this third set. I mean, well, not just now, it's been a whole game's worth, but she has literally taken over this third set. And we'll see Rutherford back in here for Eastern Hancock. Mishandled by Baker. And Eastern Hancock gets back on the board here now, 8-2. Now as we'll see Emma Wise back in here for Jenna White. Summers with it is. Stewart sets it to Brewer. Now back to Shuck, and finding some open real estate there in the back corner. Now 9-2. Very effective attack right there by Emma Shuck to collect, I think, what is now her second, maybe third kill of the evening. Nonetheless, got point number 9 here for Wapahani. It's always nice to get production from everybody, including that ace right there from Emily Stewart. I know I talked about in last night's ball game how important it is and how exciting it is that, it's just not, one or two girls taking the offensive, load off of everyone, so to speak. You have multiple girls that are more than capable of going out here and having, 15, 20 kill night. It's just the way things have been and the way the talent is with this team. You have multiple girls that can come in and do a lot of great things, and not even necessarily from an offensive standpoint. You got girls out here that can play all over the floor. That's just pure athletic ability. Bednarski tried to tip it over, but was shut down quickly. I believe that was Summers, or not Summers, but Stewart that might have tipped that right back down. But nevertheless, 12-3 Raiders. Summers back to serve. Floater serve there, handled by White. Bednarski on the attack there. Now Cook. Unable to get that one to go. That's a rare occasion there, as Chloe has been absolute money here tonight. And, you know, a good majority of the time as well. Just kind of, again, recognizing all the talent that this team has. It's very nice to see. Set to here to Brewer. Cadence Brewer getting now in on the action. So Wise back in here, also Cook in here. She came in just a few moments ago. And Olivia Smith back to serve. Shanked, but kept alive there by Gray, but Bednarski sent that one straight into the net. Then Wapahani 14, Eastern Hancock 4 here in the third set of the night. All right, there Olivia Smith, floater serve. Again in no man's land right there, 15-4 with the ace, as we'll see Gracie Stanley now in here, seeing her first action of the night. I think there might be only one other girl that is yet to get in, and I'm sure she'll probably get in before this is all said and done, and that is Ashton Zitgraff. So now 16-4. You know, you see a lot of these girls, and again, right on cue here, you have Ashton Zitgraff now coming into the ball game for the first time of the night. You know, quite a few of these girls that dress varsity, you know, might not necessarily see a lot of playing time on varsity, play majority of the time on JV. And, that's the best thing when you really look at this, the depth that you have. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can pull anyone off the bench and know with the utmost confidence that they're going to get the job done. And that is definitely a very nice luxury to have. So Gray back there to serve for Eastern Hancock. Stewart will set it up to Cook. Gray digs it out. Hunt. Now to Weiss. There's Zitgraff. Stewart back to Cook again. Blocked, but out of bounds. Now make it 18-5 Raiders. And number 13, Leia Sotelo, will re-enter the game here for Eastern Hancock. And now for Wapahani, we'll see Emma Shuck back in here for Gracie Stanley. Stewart back there to serve. Allison Stewart, that is. Sotelo gets a hand on it. Back to Shuck, and that was a big-time carry. Set to Hunt, off of the hand of Shuck, and out of bounds. Number 12, Smith back in, Skyla Smith here for the Royals, and serving will be Sydney Bednarski. Zitgraff handles it, set to Wise. Getting all of that one now, 20-6, and Reese Baker back in. Let's see Mallory Summers back in here for Wapahani as well. Nice serve there from Baker. Handled there, Stewart. Now to Summers, and 4 hits. Now make it 20-7. Stewart with a set to Shuck, blocked, kept alive. Now Smith with a set up to Summers, blocked again, kept alive this time by Stewart. that's going to be hit out of bounds. Some good action there on both sides during that point. And so now the Raiders are 4 points away. Handled there by Rutherford. Baker now the shot off of Bednarski. She'll get it back across, a little free ball action set to Brewer. Puts it away right there for point 22. Then we have Wise back to serve. And now a rotation violation on the Lady Royals. Handled there by Gray. Hunt chases it down. And Summers unloads on one there. So match point here for Wise and the Raiders. Hunt now as Eastern Hancock gets it back across at the shot. Blocked. Now Summers gets a hand in on it. And Eastern Hancock was going backwards there for a moment, but Brewer puts her stamp of approval on tonight's ball game as the Lady Raiders will take it in straight set fashion, 25-12, 25-8, 25-7. So Wapahani now 9-1 on the year, 3-0 in the conference, while Eastern Hancock falls now 4-13 and 0-4 in conference play. Folks, we'll step aside here for a break. Again, we got your Raiders Live postgame coming up live here on the WHS Network. Alrighty, folks, welcome back here on our Raiders Live post-game edition. As, again, your Wapahani Lady Raiders defeat the Eastern Hancock Lady Royals here this evening with a clean sweep here, 25-12, 25-8, 25-7. Again, to improve to 9-1 on the year. And also, perfect 3-0 in the MEC Conference. So now, with this, back-to-back nights, 2 wins in 2 nights. Obviously, a big game here tonight. Every game's important, but especially these conference games, you want to take care of business. You want to win your conference. So definitely a big win here tonight. But now you look forward to tomorrow night's game, which is a very big game in its own right against Muncie Bruce, 2 teams that obviously know each other very well throughout all these years. All the rivalry games we've had with them. Right there, even when we first started broadcasting back in 2011, that 3 or 4 year stretch right there where, we were really good, they were really good. We beat them to kind of halt things there for Muncie Burris, in which, they was on a tear, with all the state championships and how many they won in a row. And I tell you what, they're a tough team to beat. And, they've still had a very good program for, a good while now. I know, and I've said this a couple other different times, but head coach Mike Dodgerell not a head coach anymore. He's over at Yorktown, but he was the coach at Muncie Burris. He really had them going in the right direction there. Now they did, they lost some players from last year's team, most notably Michael Ivey. But that's a team that is still, pretty solid, very solid group. But then you bring in Shondell again, and I tell you what, the man is just a genius or something. It's really something to see. And how, you bring somebody in here, the next thing you know, they're number 1 in 3A, and at least to my knowledge, I believe they're still undefeated. He knows how to work his magic. He knows how to get the best out of his girls, and they trust him. And, obviously he knows what he's talking about. He's been through this song and dance way too many times. So we're really looking forward to that game tomorrow night, getting to see him again and, getting to see how we play tomorrow night. Hopefully we come out there ready to play and hopefully have a great game. We've been playing real good, aside from that Yorktown game where things just fell apart for us. We won't get into that, but we've really played some very good volleyball. Again, we're a young team. That has quite a bit to do with it. People I don't think necessarily quite understand that. The importance of, having experience, and especially in big games like this, you got to know how to handle the situations. And, I think with time, obviously that experience will come, but that still doesn't take away from the fact, we've played really some very good volleyball. Yes, we've had our times where it's not been, pretty, but that happens to every team. That doesn't matter. But tomorrow night, you go in there playing at their place, big game, they're ready to play, you're ready to play. You just got to come out there and really, first and foremost, we've just got to play, number one, the way that we're capable of playing, but play the game smart. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. You see that a lot of times with teams that, they get in big games like this and somehow they end up shooting themselves in the foot more than the other team is actually, getting anything on you. It's just more or less yourself hurting your own self here. And so that's one thing you don't want to see here from Wapahani's standpoint, of them going out there and more or less hurting their own chances by the way they're playing. If you're going to get beat, then you'd rather have the other team just be the better team and not just giving them the win. So you want to come out there with some, with some enthusiasm, with some positivity, and know that, you can get the job done. And I'm sure these girls are definitely looking forward to that game. That's a game you always like to circle on your calendar, no matter what year it is. So eager to get at it tomorrow night. We'll have it right here on the WHS network. Not sure if we'll be live or not. We'll have to let you know when we get there. Coming tomorrow night. Again, if you can make the trip there, it's only about a 15-20 minute drive there on the campus of Ball State University. And even if you do come and you still want to go back and watch a game later on, that's great. That's what we want. We love people watching our games. So, and we appreciate you all for always staying tuned in with us and watching us and supporting all of these respectable teams out here, of these fine student athletes. So again, Wapahani 25-12, 25-8, 25-7. Sweep over Eastern Hancock here tonight. Again, now 9-1 on the season, 3-0 in the conference. And again, we'll be back at it tomorrow night at Muncie Burris. So until then, I'm Brandon Morvillius alongside cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Again, thanking all of you for watching. Again, thanking all of our sponsors. And we'll see you tomorrow night again right back here on the WHS Network. Have a great night, everyone.